Greetings. Ani, bonjour, kwe, tanzi, scano. Hi. It's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, Canada, and we're here with our Indigenous perspective on all things paranormal, but specifically for this video, it's our weekly taromancy, cartomancy reading, and it came up to have a pared down selection of cards, and as it worked out, it's beautiful. We've just come off Beltane, which is May Day. I, for one, did not frolic nude around my maypole, but Brian did. He took it this year for us. Anyway, we're using a beautiful selection of decks, including The Naked Heart by Gillian C. Wilde, and others. You'll see the decks used in the photos that I always post separately, because otherwise people ask and it's a lot of writing back and forth. So it's easier to post pictures and give the artists and such, and a picture of course will come up for the reading itself, so you're not scrambling taking screenshots. Anyway, Brian, let's go to the cards. So this line of 7 cards is from The Artist Decoded, one of my favorite all-time decks. I carry this around a lot, and I just love this deck. So they're talking about flowers and arty things again. And our significator card is Judgment. Judging ourselves, judging what we do. The judgment is ours and ours alone. And judging others is not what we are meant to do. We are supposed to stay in our own wheelhouse and in our own lane this week. And we have a new moon in this week, and I'm going to do an entirely separate video on this new moon because it's an important thing. So we need to have good judgment, clear judgment, and the capacity for where we're going and what we're doing. And so, yes, that comes from wisdom, but that also comes from outside circumstances. And it's clarified here by the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is an emotionally mature female. What's the cat doing here? What are you doing? It's just a lot of nonsense going on in the background here. It got me distracted. So the Queen of Cups is clarifying judgment, which, as we know, is a major arcana card. So this is important. She brings the love and respect and the mature expectations, mature attitudes, and no emotional roller coasters into the judgment that we are making about this week ahead. And it's followed by the Hierophant. Ooh-wee, ooh-ah. So we've got rites and rituals and authority and law and all manner of, I think you better go and check what the cat has there, sir, because she's back here. Don't want her into nonsense that she shouldn't be into. Anyway, the Hierophant is about law and order and the way of right relationship as it applies to things both internally within us, but also externally with the world. So apparently some of the judgments we are making for our own life are going to impact the world. And it's clarified here by the Tower. Now the Tower, in this case, is from a Lenormand deck that I pair with the Artist Decoded. The Tower does not mean the same thing as the Tower in tarot. This is, again, structures, law, order, business, education, formal structures into which we must go. It is not an explosive thing. So structure and order, discipline, All these things matter when we are taking on the archetype of the Hierophant relative to judgment, but also this is very left-brained and she is very right-brained. So this is balance. Balance in our judgments, balance as it relates to the world, and balance as it relates to our own lives. Following the Hierophant, we have the Knight of Wands. And this came up this morning for somebody that was here for a reading. The Knight of Wands is going for the gusto, going with, again, a sense of discipline, order, the way of right relationship. I think of the Crusaders when I think of, or the Knights Templar. Their original objectives were wonderful, and sometime, later they got corrupted. But the Knight of Wands energy, it's fire and it's making things happen. So once we've judged it, once we've got our ducks in order around how we perceive it, once we feel at peace, that's the emotional maturity and the calm, we're meant to go like stink. And this Knight is clarified, isn't maybe the right word, this movement of swords. So this is the Knight of Swords, who is a panther, and she has his back. So we are well guarded by spirit. This is spiritual resources keeping us free of any kind of physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual detritus or obstacles or blinders. This is a go. This week is big. Middle card of the week is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is usually a card of nostalgia. Nostalgia that can bring an awareness of current situations in life. I don't often speak to that particular meaning, but it's there. And sometimes nostalgia in the negative sense can be rose-colored glasses and an attempt to gloss over or put negative things away and just see things as positive. But there is a wisdom to observing and looking at the journey that our lives have taken. And in that life, there is an opportunity to gain and grow through looking at sometimes the painful parts as well as the good parts. So we're thinking with nostalgia as we move forward in this new direction, and it's okay to do that. It's clarified by a spirit called Prudenza, and it is the virtue of prudence. And I'll tell you what prudence brings to the table here. She brings confronting life with caution and tranquility, using science and magic, wisdom, thinking things through, healing, staying out of trouble but understanding that pitfalls may occur, understanding and navigating ups and downs, adapting to the rhythm of life. And I think that's really what she gives as clarifying here to this card, helping us stay in balance with what our past brings to the table here, and looking at the balance in life. It's followed by the Nine of Pentacles. That card has come up so often for me personally, as well as in readings here. So the nine is fulfillment, feeling grateful, feeling satiated, feeling like one has enough. There's no fear, no worry. And it's clarified by the card for Beltane, which is chant. Hear me loud, hear me roar, for I am here in my truth. And the truth is, each and every one of us has brought ourselves to a place of peace when we own and identify ourselves in the place of the Nine of Pentacles. It's the end of a cycle that says we have enough. We are finished with something in the material world, for sure, that allows us to move on. So this is a very lovely card. The next, we've got the King of Cups. So we have the balance of the King with his Queen. The King of Cups is, again, an emotionally mature, aware, able to judge for others, full of the best intentions, very human. All archetypes are very human, but it's when we stay in balance that we maintain the best non-shadow aspect of the card of water and emotion. And we are being told that our totem here is wolf. This wolf is howling at a moon decorated in jewels. We have that abiding, lifelong friendship of wolf, both in the human form, through our pets and our immediate totems, but also in spirit. So wolf is protecting. We have indigenous stories around where wolf sits in the creation story, but I won't get into that today. And it's followed by the High Priestess. This is just an amazing, 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 amazing reading. The High Priestess ends the week. As above, so below. The very best of everything that one could possibly want. That numinous, liminal space energy that we all can get to when we try. And now it's clarified. I pulled a card for timing. I don't always, but they wanted a timing card. So the timing here says Taurus, and I'm going to ask the Grand Poobah to douse whether it's the Taurus that we're in 2026 or another time.
Is it the Taurus we are in?
No.
No. The next one?
2027.
27.
So, oh, thank you, Grand Poobah. Cat herder, nonsense reliever, and all-around good lad. Geez, I have to have some coffee over that. I'm thinking of my friend Leanne when I look at this. Leanne, pay attention. All right. This whole enterprise, kings and queens and trump cards, major arcana cards, court cards, all of this says whatever's happening this week with this new moon. This is why I need to do a separate video, and I will later in the week, closer to new moon, because if I put certain videos up, short ones especially, they're gone in 24 hours. This is magnificent. I am keeping for sure a copy of this right in my gallery on my tablet so I can open it up and ooh and ah and find out what further things Spirit has to say. You can flip the camera, Brian. I didn't understand why they wanted so few decks for this. I would normally have 3 more decks to pull cards from. But this, you can't top this. You can't make this shit up. And you can't top this reading. This is one for the books. Anyway, have a blessed week. Have a wonderful new moon. And we will see you over the the Wi-Fi waves a couple of times in the next week, because I'm going to announce a special contest to get our numbers up, and for once a week for 6 weeks, somebody who follows through is going to get a reading with me. Anyway, there's going to be 6 of them. And we thank people like Pam and Dean who have been supporting us, and Philomene. All right, be blessed. Aho.